Hello there. I live in Inglewood, 3 blocks from the school. I was making a video about education. My parents are both PhDs of education. Mom, PhD of childhood education. Dad, a PhD of adult education. I was going to classify this video as about U.S. history or U.S. government, and that's not listed in grade year 4 and doesn't seem to be listed in grade year 5. Um, English, French, plenty of languages. They'll let you learn to talk to everybody on the earth. Chinese, English, French, German, Japanese, Russian, sign language. And yet, history, the National Report Card, the NAEP, National Education, like EP something, they test everybody in every grade, 4th, 8th, 12th, at least 3 grades. And there is yearly testing of another sort, but they are with the Department of Defense. And the goal is to eliminate smart people from the earth. But that's the reason people were fearful and said that they were anti-standardized testing when I was growing up. Standardized testing is actually a blessing. The problem is that the military wants to remove anybody that's intelligent from society. So it's a little bit of a problem. But you do want, like, ASVAB, everything. Why would that be a military test? Why wouldn't that be an academic test that people could do before they even do a high school degree? Because it has physical comprehension in it, spatial comprehension, and object comprehension. That's kind of more important than everything being theory. I was in high school. I was just like, am I really in high school now? Because you guys are obsessed with calling it like math theory, science theory, just really the math thing. I'm supposed to be a math person, applied math. And it was just, and I hated every geometry term there is. It's like, what are these words supposed to mean to me? Why don't we use like a physical description, applied science, applied math of what the damn shape is? Why are you trying to give me like Latinizations that are like weird? Rhombus, dodecahedron. I'm like, just name the angle and then like an exponent. And I'm like, I'm good. Just name the angle and an exponent. Say obtuse or acute. What are these strange, stupid ass names? Pardon language. What are these names? So, anyways, let me see if I can get through this. So, 5th grade, no history. 6th grade, age 11, 12. Is there any history? 6th grade, no mention of history. Scrolling up. Oh. Religion. Again, no history even in grade year 6. Allowed to speak every language on the earth. Not allowed to know who the fuck. Not allowed to know who you're representing. You represent yourself. America loves you, children. And we are the children, we are the world, kind of singing at everybody. But they have no idea what the adults are doing because they're not allowed to read history. It's kind of funny like that. That's the reason I'm sharing it. So I can't imagine history classes not being. Again, history isn't even in grade year 7. Grade year 8, they're now 13 and 14. They're allowed to get married at this age. This is the age where people actually, legally, biologically have a need to be married. I was one of them. A lot of stuff happened at church with other people doing other things, and we were all the same age. Watch your kids, and if you take them to church, expect them to become adults before you leave church. Yeah, great. So grade year 8, not seeing history mentioned anywhere. So again, how do you learn from the past if nobody tells you what's going on? Don't like that sign language is listed ahead of Spanish. It's a little bit of a racial problem. Spanish is Florida. You couldn't possibly understand Florida history without Spanish. It should be listed first of the languages. They've got Chinese, then English. If you go to Walmart, very worldly people. If you go to Walmart, everything's from China. I guess they're more important than Americans. Let's go learn Chinese. So that's what that is all about. The Spanish thing is still wrong, no matter how they feel about who's making the products they sell them. It's like, hey, Japan makes all the VCRs and computers. Let's all learn Japanese. And that really happened. And America's contribution? Anime, cartoons. It's like, man, that's a bad deal. They give us computers, VCRs, and TVs, like the best TVs ever from Asia. And for these HD TVs, we pay them to make us cartoons. Again, history is kind of needed. So in ninth grade, I was in homeschooling for middle school. I know I had history when I was in elementary, so it's been removed. And I did world governments in middle school, the 1 year I was in middle school. I actually did a report on the gross domestic product of Brazil and everything that was going on there. All right, so the list has changed itself. In ninth grade, we're suddenly a whole new world. Ninth grade, they say, is age 14, 15. These people have learner's permits to be driving cars. They're allowed to travel anywhere in the nation, even outside the nation. With their driver's ID, they can enter Canada and Mexico. They don't have to have a passport to go to Canada or Mexico. They haven't had a history class yet. It's true. Okay, ninth grade is the first history class, right here on the screen. Ninth grade, age 14, 15, they have a driver's license learner permit, can go anywhere they want. Technically not allowed to drive after night, but almost nobody drives at nighttime anyways, except the alcoholics, which are trying to get back from the nightclub. No offense, everybody, but alcohol and food runs because people have company at their house. So it's a party in public or it's a party in private. Anyways, grade 9, age 14, 15 is the first history class after they have cars. They can go visit people and they can try and learn about other people's history and why other people are fucked up in the head. Not allowed to know U.S. history before you have a car to meet other people. Everything in your society, they're trying to kill all the smart people. They're trying to kill all the old people. That's what COVID is about. The COVID-19 thing is death to all your grandparents. Same as the American Revolution was death to all parents. They didn't want to pay taxes or Social Security to the English and their families in Germany. It's the most bizarre thing because High German aren't Germans, but everybody comes from the High Germans, which was this military line of forts from Rome, Italy, up to Denmark, and then also from the Ohio River up to Lake Erie across the state of Ohio. Same people. Giant chain of forts, all High German, but not actual real Germans. High German isn't even the German language. The spelling specifically. Lots of borrowed words. They also invented Yiddish in like the 1200s. Yiddish is a pidgin language of German, pretending to be Hebrew. They married into the smartest people on earth. And it's in the Bible where they call them golden calves. The women they married were called consuls, not council, Counsel. Coun. In fact, it probably should be Sul. Alexa, how do you spell consul?
Consul is spelled Console.
That's an interesting question. Something you rest yourself on. The consul is a wife they married, and they would rest themselves on their wives. And console is on her own. She just rests there on top of the furniture. So this is an English thing that you should know in history. Growing up, the only way to stop the war and the abuse of women and smart people is to have history in the first 8 years of education. Technically, it's 10 years because pre-K isn't even a grade number. In the first 10 years, the children are half-wits, like 20 teeth, 10 bottom, 10 top. First 10 years of public education, because there is a pre-K out there. And it is state-funded and federally funded. And yeah, yeah, first 10 years, and nobody's allowed to know history. So a child can't even chew on what are adults and what are their beliefs about the world. They reserved it until they have a learner's permit to leave the parents and go have sex with people and find out why all the wars happened. So that's an interesting thing, also. Like 7% childlessness for anybody that has a high school diploma, 20 to 34% childlessness if you get a bachelor's degree. So they're actually, my local school is betting on the 14 and 15-year olds driving to somebody else's house and getting pregnant instead of knowing what the hell the world is like. It's like, let those people who go get their degrees learn what the world is like. And if they reject military murdering all the smart people, they will be childless. 1 in 3 to 1 in 5 are childless since 1980. In 1980, it was 1 in 3. Today, it's 1 in 5. If you have a degree, you will be childless. It won't be natural. It's weather surveillance radar and cognitive radar, which is really radar transcranial magnetic stimulation. Radar transcranial magnetic stimulation controls everybody. The IEEE and the National Institute of Health call it cognitive radar. They went public about it before Obama in 2007 so that people who are going nuts would be able to prove they're not nuts and shouldn't be in a mental hospital. Then Obama became the mental health president, giving everybody free insane asylum stay, uh, free vacations in insane asylums if the radar comes for them, to get rid of the smartest people in the nation and to chase all the farmers away from. Where have all the farmers gone? It's a 1996 song by somebody Cole. Her last name is Cole, Cole, like Holocaust of all the cowboys. Where have all the cowboys gone? I happen to be a cowboy. I'm not married and I'm as yet no children. I would like to find a woman who's okay with agriculture being a lifestyle, and just all that matters that we make smart, intelligent children. We obey the laws and we stand up for the truth in the Bible and history, which they removed the truth from the Bible and they've removed history from children until they're in grade year 9, allowed to drive to somebody else's house. After they've gotten pregnant, they're allowed to find out why we have all the wars. We need to stop that from happening. War means kill smart people. And so we do not want war. Thank you for your time. I'm going to include 4 and 9, which is 7 times 7. Grade year 4 social studies, grade year 9 history, so that people can have some foresight of what's happening over the next 5 years of their life and maybe at least watch PBS. Thank you for your time. WJXT is the local PBS channel. WJXT. We need to change the call signs. WJ. What would Jesus exchange? Maybe. What would Jesus' mom crucify? What would Jesus' mom crucify? It's kind of funny. Anyways, thank you for listening, and pay attention to what your schools are doing on edpuzzle.com. And parents want this to be public broadcasting for education so that you can have homeschooling with augmented classes and augmented education from licensed accredited educators. My mom's a PhD of childhood education. She's right there. My dad's a PhD of adult education in Indiana. My house was set fire to in 2017 on Martin Luther King Day, not Spanish. I do believe that Spanish should be taught. I learned Latin because I was studying the Bible, and Latin's not listed anywhere there. Nobody wants anybody to know anything about the Bible. The Vatican is under attack, and all the Catholics are being gotten rid of for the Baptist thing. But then the Baptists hit bad times in Jacksonville because they got caught not being good Christians. Jimmy Carter wrote a letter. Anyways, all right. Love you all. We want history in every year of education. The little cardboard book saying George Washington cut down a tree, he cut down his own tree because he wouldn't lie. They killed his tree. And so he didn't cut down his tree. The military killed George Washington's family tree because he wouldn't tell a lie about U.S. history. That's what really happened. It's the strangest thing. The French word appel is what I call this, what I call that. George Washington was an honest man who wasn't going to live as long as the victims. All the victims live into their 80s. He lived into his 60s, 20 years less. All the victims lived 33% longer than the military. The military tends to die in its 60s. And so the military, with the way it created the education system, wants your kids to get pregnant in high school. First year, freshmen in high school, grade year 9, learn history after you're pregnant. And that's the real truth. I'll work with y'all later.